Take that from your brother?
Yeah, but I want to see what game
Damn it. So this is what I'm talking about. Somebody took somebody's toy. Statistically speaking, one out of the five.
Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to step into the shoes of the one and only tech king Elon Musk? For a man who owns several companies, has aspirations of taking the world into space, he must have a very interesting life and an even more interesting daily routine. Welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. Today we are looking at a day in the life of Elon Musk. Sleeping habits. As with anything in life, it is important to get a good night's sleep. The night is when your body gets to shut down a little, recharge itself for the day to come. And so what do Elon Musk's sleeping habits look like? The billionaire has a busy day ahead of him and therefore chooses to sleep only about 6 hours every day. He states that initially he would barely even get any sleep and would have some very poor sleeping habits. It is not strange to find him taking a sleep for a few hours on the floor of his factory or his office at Tesla instead of going home to sleep. This was back when he would reportedly work for more than 100 hours a week. However, it began to take a toll on his health and he realized how much it affected his productivity. He has now managed to bring his sleeping schedule to about 6 hours every night, which isn't the usual 8 hours that is recommended for the average person. But then again, Elon Musk is anything but average. While his billionaire rival Jeff Bezos gets about 8 hours of sleep, Musk seems to be content with the 6 hours that he is putting in. Ever since the changing of his sleep schedule and making sure he gets at least 6 hours of sleep, he is up at exactly 7 a.m. If you study the lives of the rich, you will find that they are all morning people, and that's probably a good thing for all of us to consider. Breakfast and morning routine. Now, when it comes to breakfast, Musk has a peculiar habit of not eating anything in the morning. One would think that with all that money and the best chefs in the world right at his fingertips, he would be all but absolutely having the best breakfast man could ever think of. It seems like the billionaire tycoon is happy to have a simple black cup of coffee in the morning. This may not be the healthiest way to go about your day, but then again, Musk has always been known for his unique ways. If he ever happens to squeeze in some time to have breakfast, his go-to meal is a simple omelet and a coffee. A simple yet satisfying breakfast. He may be skipping breakfast most days, but there's one thing that the billionaire does not skip, and that is a shower. He makes it a priority to have a shower the first thing in the morning. According to him, it puts him at ease and gives him the right headspace he needs to face his busy day. It is a critical part of his morning routine so that he can wake himself up. The next thing for him is to send his children off to school, and he makes as much time as he can fit them, being the father to 6 boys. A fun fact is that Elon Musk's kids don't attend a normal school, but in fact a school that he himself started for them. He created a school named Ad Astra, which translates to the stars, because he was of the opinion that ordinary schools just aren't teaching what should be taught. The school teaches not just theory, but it's just very skills-based. The school has his 5 children along with 20 other students, and getting into school is very difficult. That's Dad's goals right there. Work. After finishing with his morning routine, it is time for him to jump straight into his work. He has always had a penchant for overworking himself, and it is therefore no surprise that he actually divided up his day into 5-minute time slots. When you're a busy man like Elon, you have to make sure you give a small amount of time to each task and project every day. He splits his work days between SpaceX and Tesla. With SpaceX based in Los Angeles and Tesla in the San Francisco Bay Area, he is a busy man and an active traveler. He works Mondays and Fridays at SpaceX, while the rest of the week is dedicated to his work at Tesla. Some have even said that he dedicates about 40 hours worth of work each week to SpaceX, which is almost as much as the average person spends at their office in a week. Talk about dedication. He usually also packs in about 42 hours of work at Tesla, trying to dedicate an equal amount of time to both of his companies. And that makes his average at about 82 hours a week, which would mean that he spends almost 16 hours of the day working. He has some good habits when it comes to work. He tries to put his phone off whenever he can, so he can focus solely on the task at hand. He shows up to various meetings and has rules that if it doesn't add value to the meeting, then don't share. He actively discourages holding meetings that are unnecessary and is known to walk out of meetings when he feels his time is being wasted. And that may sound harsh, but we would like to think that he is an efficient man who doesn't have time to waste. He also uses an obscure email address so no one can trace and hack into it. When does he get time to check his emails? Well, he has hilariously revealed in several interviews that the time he uses to go to the bathroom is usually when he goes through his mails, and says he finds that to be a good time as it keeps him productive without stopping. That's also the time he used to tweet. So the next time you see him tweeting, well, we'll leave that one to you. Lunch. When it comes to lunch, his attitude is pretty much the same. He doesn't see it as a time to laze around and waste time. He squeezes in just the required time needed to finish his meal. His lunch is usually his first meal of the day besides the cup of coffee he has in the mornings. He tries to eat as fast as he can so he can get on with his day and doesn't like to take too much time away from work. He usually has his lunch while he is in a meeting or takes a quick 5 minutes to finish it up. He is not particularly fuzzy with meals and prefers foods that can be eaten quickly so he can get on back with his work. After work and dinner routine. With the amount of hours that the billionaire works, it is no surprise that when he dies and manages to return home from work, he barely has time to have for himself. He usually spends it with his kids. He has said recently that since the birth of his sixth son, with singer Grimes, he has made it a point to go home a little earlier and spend time with her and all of his boys. Even with his hectic schedule, he makes sure to carve out some family time. Sometimes he will go visit the gym after work, but usually only twice a week, and he states that he would avoid working out completely if he could, but he knows it's needed for health. If you think coming home would stop him from working, then you are wrong. He continues to have business meetings sometimes late into the night. He uses the business dinners as an opportunity to put those much-needed calories into his body. Dinner is usually the time where he sits down and eats a whole heavy meal. He also has stated that he loves to have Diet Coke. He also enjoys French cuisine and good old barbecue. He is also known to have some whiskey or wine from time to time. Bedtime. Finally, when it comes to bedtime, if he has some time in hand, he loves to bury himself in a book. As an avid book reader, he manages to make some time to learn something new and sharpen his mind. He has famously said that one cannot know everything about everything, and that is why he loves reading and learning new things. On some days, he uses his time before bed to wind down and watch some of his favorite anime like Death Note and Evangelion, or talking and spending time with Grimes. Elon Musk usually goes to bed at 1 a.m. after he finally decides to wind down for the day to give his body some much-needed rest. So between the hours of 1 a.m. to 7 a.m., it's lights out at the Musk house. Then it begins at 7 a.m. all over again. And with that being said, it's time to end our video, but before that, we want to know how you feel about this. What is your daily routine? Would you like to try out Elon Musk's routine? You know what to do. See you in the comments section. And we hope you enjoyed the video. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.